The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reference on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. This podcast should not be considered professional advice whatsoever. The third-party materials or content of any third-party site referenced in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the opinions, standards, or policies of the owner. In other words, just have a fucking sense of humor, will you? And enjoy.
Now you listen to me, you sick son of a bitch.
Welcome back!
Wow, look at that. Beautiful.
Very good. Very beautiful. Very nice. Welcome back. Welcome back, Noel.
Welcome back, Omar. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it?
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Well, we've both been very busy for the last couple of weeks, and it's been hard to coordinate our time to lay one down for episode 17.
Episode 17. Welcome, everybody, to episode 17. That's amazing. We've done 17 episodes.
Yeah. Well, you want to know why the number 17 is significant, Omar?
Oh, let me know, please. What's going on?
Angel number 17 is a symbol of self-discipline and responsibility. If the number enters your life, it means that you are able to take your life into your own hands. It's time to be independent and take responsibility for your own life.
Take responsibility. Oh, dear. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's good, though. That's good. You should be accountable and you should take responsibility of your own life.
Maybe not
I've
other
never
people's.
really liked the number 17. No, not for other people's. Take responsibility for your life and your stuff. We've got some things to talk about with that. So,
first
of all, I'm just going to...
A bit has happened, hasn't it?
It has. A lot has happened. So much has happened. We haven't been doing these. We've been very busy, so sorry, guys. We apologize. We still are here. We hear you. But been very busy. As soon as lockdown opened up for New Zealand, everyone's all working. We're busy. So it's very, very busy, but that's fine. So we're here today, we're doing this and we're going to keep doing it. But then in this amount of time, there's been so much that's happened, so much that's just, oh God, Noel, what do you think? It's just crazy out there, isn't it?
You missed 1 week, and you're like, okay, we're on the other side of what could possibly be the most significant thing that's happened to the human race in 20 years.
Yeah.
And then there's a bloody race war when you have a week off. It's unbelievable.
Ridiculous. That was so weird. And when that whole thing was going on, when we were in that, when the riot stuff was happening about 2 weeks ago, I had to tweet and I had to Facebook this. I mean, do you guys remember the coronavirus? It just went out the window.
Yeah, everyone forgot about it.
Did you notice that? It just
what happened to the social distancing?
What happened to that? Everybody's rioting and then everyone's together. They're all doing that. But then, of course, now the cases are through the roof. Have you seen that? Like, even New Zealand's got cases again.
Yeah, cases go. Well, because we were idiots and we let overseas people. I mean, maybe we're returning people, but the people they probably feel like the worst two people in the world right now is those two people from England that came over. And yes, it's sad. They had somebody's funeral to go to and stuff like that. But they couldn't even go to it. See, for me, that's not worth it. If there's the potential for heaps of people to die, then we can just live stream the funeral. That was one of my ideas from previous weeks. Remember that?
Yeah, that's a good idea. A lot of people are doing that now, I've seen, and they're making a fortune. Did you jump on that? Did you do it?
No, I haven't. I just find...
No, you didn't?
I thought it would just be depressing to just be in a graveyard every day. Plus, I'm scared of ghosts. I've already explained that to you.
That is quite a depressing. It's sort of like, it's the same thing, like filming funerals for me is the same as filming weddings. Yeah. Because I used to have a wedding media business, and I hated it.
Yeah.
I could not stand going to these weddings for like 9 hours and watching people have the most beautiful day of because I don't know them. I've got no attachment to those people, and I'm there to film it, and it's so boring.
I think for us, because we're industry-ish folks, we're out there, we're getting things done. It's kind of like real estate and weddings and stuff. You kind of see that as like a stepping stone to move up into the world, and I'll do a friend's wedding. I'm going to do a friend's wedding because they're a friend of mine. I'm going to give them a good price.
Yeah, totally.
I'm going to be a part of the wedding as well. I'm invited to the wedding, so I'm like, hey,
perfect.
No worries.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've done that before as well.
That'd be a bit of fun, But people you don't know's weddings, I don't know, man.
Yeah. And also those Asians or Indian weddings that just go on for like 95 days. They're just so and they're all the same. And there's so many people there. Yeah. The food is amazing. Oh, yeah. And but
and the dancing. The next thing you know, you're part of a Bollywood number.
Oh, I can't wait. Get the cameras out. Let's film this. Where's Rahul Roy? Bring him in here. You can't do too much. Can't be too much. Can't go too much into the whole Indian thing because we don't want to be labeled as racist. But no, it's really good. So thank you guys for coming back. We're back. You guys are smashing up the likes. You're smashing up the YouTube. You're on the Instagram. You're on the TikTok. Thank you very much. Nailing it. We're getting so many fucking more followers. And it's just all of a sudden popped.
It's very exciting.
Over the whole quarantine. I don't know. You remember a couple of months ago I was saying that I found that social media was getting slower and it was getting dull.
It was dying,
because everyone. It was dying. It was getting so bad, and we noticed that as well. Like I found the retention rate. People were listening, but there were some issues going on. People weren't responding or subscribing or moving around. But now it's amazing. There's just people everywhere, and they're just flocking in. There's so much more happening. It's just great. So thank you guys. And what else? Oh, I had something else to say. I can't even fucking remember. It's one of those days. Oh, that's right. Noel, how have you been?
Oh.
This is a personal matter thing here. How have you been? It's been 3 weeks. We haven't talked. How's it going? How are you doing? You're looking great.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, I've been busy. But currently we're out of lockdown, so I'm searching ravenously for a new place to live in Auckland. So that's pretty much.
Actually, talking about living, that's a good point there. Very good point. Talking about living, this is the big topic of the day, and the week is living. Life matters. So Black lives matter, right?
Of course.
They do. All lives matter. Do you think all lives matter? That's the thing.
I don't know if you can say that, Omar. Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know what... I understand. I haven't really got an opinion about this. You've got to be very careful about all of this. You can't say anything, or you're just going to be cancelled. You're going to be... No one's going to listen to you anymore. So I don't know. I just think everything matters, really. For me, everything's a mattering thing. Even food matters to me because I need it every day. The gym matters to me. Why? Because I want to get fit. If that person and that person are two different skins, it doesn't matter that they're two different skins, but they matter to me. Their lives matter. If this guy...
Sorry, in my life, I've never sort of been like worried or stressed out about it. Yes, I guess being white, it's not the thing as your radar.
Yeah,
but
totally. You're privileged, mate. You're privileged.
But it was never something of my everyday like life that I was concerned about when it comes to is everybody represented? Is everybody, you know what I mean? And I don't think it was as big a problem. I was born in 1982, yeah. I do not believe that anybody else born in the same year has any more or less rights than I do. That's kind of the way I feel about it, but what would I know?
Yeah, who knows what? Yeah, I don't know, man. But then also, I think when you start going into the depth of it and you start hearing these people's stories, you hear that black people that, they can't go anywhere without their numbers, their passports, all their information in the car. They always 100%. Have things, there's like that stuff. And also, if they're walking down the street, people get quite, judgmental. The thing is, I'm Egyptian. So I can grow a beard. There's one point in time I shaved my head. I can look different sometimes, and I can look menacing sometimes. So I have been the subject of racism, especially when I used to live in
Australia,
Christchurch, New Zealand.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Australia.
Well, but also that comes later on. So yeah, when I was in Australia, totally. But it didn't matter to me because I just saw that the people that were racist just weren't. They had a low IQ.
They're just ignorant,
and they just didn't. They're ignorant. They just didn't understand. So for me, it didn't mean anything because I could see above it. Because I would go, and the people that would say it to me, let's say in Australia, were the guys that sounded like birds. So they were like, you bloody wog, mate. And and I'd be like, yeah, but and I said,
dude, you sound like a fucking leprechaun.
Yeah, you do. You sound like Conor McGregor, high on cocaine, mate. Listen to you. Hey, oh, fuck you. He's so funny. But yeah, so it's so strange, man. I was a subject of it. But then that's the funny thing. Now I don't even think of it. I'm only saying I'm a subject of it now, but it didn't. Back then, it wasn't like that. And I wasn't a victim. I didn't feel it at all. And then some people now were saying, because I was talking to this with one of my mates, and they're like, oh, "Yeah, you would have been a victim. You know this about this, Omar. You can relate to this." I'm like, "No, well, not really. I mean, it didn't really offend me that much. I didn't really care. I just saw the different levels of the IQ there, so it doesn't matter, And also, when I was in Christchurch, I was 13. The other guys were like 13, 12, 14. It didn't really matter.
I think what's changed, is culturally, it's become almost cool to be a victim. You know what I mean?
Totally. That's the victim mentality at the moment, and you see that a lot. And that's something. It's all about being a victim. It's all about apologizing for yourself. This is all just this whole passive. This whole. Everyone cannot be strong anymore. You're not allowed to be the alpha. You're not allowed to stand out and have your chest pumping out, because then people are going to be, oh, you can't be doing that, mate. You're just going to beat the crap. You can't be that. Everyone's just being suppressed,
Well, that's also, you bring up suppression, and that's part of the problem, is that people feel like they don't have a fair start. Is Will Smith's kids or Shaq's kids going to have any more? Are they more repressed than a poor white person's kids? Like,
No.
think about that for a second.
Let me ponder
Their
that.
kids have grown up in a generation where they are incredibly privileged due to the success of Will Smith or Shaquille O'Neal or whatever it is. I do not
Or even like
believe
Ice Cube.
that their kids grew up repressed. I don't believe it.
No, totally not. It doesn't make any sense. They're like black person white, aren't they? And that's the thing. That's like Kevin Hart's kids, and that's the funny thing. We say like Will Smith. I guess he did come from poverty, but then you go into like Ice Cube, Ice Cube and his kid. Ice Cube was from Compton back in the day, straight out of Compton. We got the gang slanging, the Bloods, the Crips.
Yeah.
So he knew that side of it, but then his son doesn't know anything about it.
No,
because
he grew up rich. He's
from,
like
he's from Beverly Hills. Totally.
Like, he
But
would
then
have
you've
never
also
got those
some-
acting breaks unless he was Ice
Totally.
Cube's son.
He would have been he would not have been an NWA straight out of Compton if his dad wasn't Ice Cube. I feel so sorry for those white actors now. It's actually offensive to be white. A white man is not good anymore. You can't be cast in it. You can't do anything. Like, I did a TV show, 3 weeks ago, and they cast me because, of course, my name was Omar. But then as soon as I started speaking, because you can tell my accent I'm quite English. I'm well spoken.
Yeah.
I'm articulate. I'm generous. I'm very smart, intelligent. I've got a chip on my shoulder, but that's okay. I can sometimes come off a little bit arrogant, but it's not arrogant. It's confident. But then they didn't actually audition me. They just saw that. They went to my agent and said, "Have you got any Arabs on your books?" And they said, "Yeah, we do. We've got this guy." And they're like, "Oh yeah, perfect. He's cast straight away off the bat." And I was like, "Oh great, I'm going to be like some sort of bad guy or something like that, like what I'm used to be casting as. I'm typecast as that. I've been practicing my whole acting career as a bad guy, or as one of the best friends, slobbish when it comes to comedy, or I'm the bad guy. I am the bad guy." But my agent says, "No. You're actually cast as this very intelligent Arab that is a tech guy and I'm like, okay, a tech guy that what, disables bombs, or, is all about, is it killing the US government? Am I doing something related like that? They're like,
He's
no,
hacking
you're
the
just
Twitter.
a guy that, something like that.
With the bots.
But all I'm doing is just part of this tech company, and I'm one of the intelligent guys in there. My name is Ali Akbar. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'm a good guy, am I? And they're like, yes, you are. I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe in my next role I could be a bad guy.
So
and they're like, no,
you
from
wanted
now
to be
on,
the bad guy.
Well, I want to, and that's what I was typecast as all the time now. But now, because of all this stuff that's happening with Black Lives, and you can't do this, all these white guys have to be bad guys now. All the guys that were bad guys in the past are now going to be leads. And my agent's like, it's an exciting time for you, Omar, because now you can become a lead. And I'm like, I'm not a lead. I'm not like Tom Cruise. I'm not going to be like The Rock. But now I've got the potential to do that. It's exciting.
But what about The Rock?
But it's funny.
Well, he's not black, but he's brown. But he's a good example of, like, is he repressed? Does he had a repressed life?
Oh, he did at the beginning, but not anymore,
His dad was a famous wrestler as well.
Yeah, his dad was. So that was basically, in a nutshell, what... we've got a big thing going. We've got a massive episode today, so we have to really get through it.
Okay, cool. So you're basically summing up that this Black Lives Matter movement might help your career.
At the moment it looks that way, and I did that role on that TV show, which was awesome. I was in like 6 episodes, and I was basically this Ali Akbar, this IT guy,
Cool.
this wizard. I don't know.
When can we see that, Omar?
I'm not too sure. It's coming out on TVNZ in New Zealand, but I'll make sure I'll get the clips and send it. I don't really care. It's basically, it's a good project, but at the same time, it is what it is. Who cares?
So that's kind of, this next little story I have is kind of, it's kind of on the same thing. It's people using the Black Lives Matters to their advantage, or in this case, to troll people. So I don't know if you heard about this, but someone on 4chan started this thing where it's like, all white women should shave your heads for Black Lives Matter, and they made it into a hashtag.
What, really?
Yeah. Click on this little link here.
Oh.
Wait, look at this. And basically, it was all shit. and they convinced all these white women to shave their heads and put the hashtag Black Lives Matter, go bald for Black Lives Matter. And people actually
look
did
at
it.
that.
I know, but if you thought it through, right, you'd be like, if I'm a white woman, yeah, and I'm going to shave my head for Black Lives Matter, instantly I'm going to look like a skinhead. Do you think that's probably like the best idea? Like now you're walking down the street and like, I did this for you, and you're like, what?
Yeah, they were like, Jesus, yeah, right. That's insane, right? Why do people think that? Like, that's so weird.
You just got to be so careful.
Weird, bro.
This is the same thing of jumping on the bandwagons of and I felt New Zealand, we don't necessarily have those issues over here, but we're really good at jumping on the bandwagon. We just can't avoid being sort of like sucking up American culture. Like for some reason we need it, and it's just like we've got our own thing going on here. Why are we involved in this? Like, why was there how many thousand people walking down the Queen Street in Auckland, risking everybody getting the coronavirus for something happened on the other side of the world? That guy, that poor George Floyd guy, he was definitely murdered by an evil cop. And yes, maybe we need police reform, yada yada yada. But I do not believe it has anything to do with New Zealand.
No, totally not. But I think it's just we just showing our we're showing our compassion. I mean, there is an element of
I can't stand that word.
Yeah, there's an element of it with the Maoris, with the white people coming here, and they've got their whole thing as well, like the Pākehā. But then you've also got the Aborigines in Australia and all those guys. That's what I had a bit of a thing about. Like, you had all these Australians that rioted for Black Lives Matters, but then the way that they treat their Aborigines, it doesn't make sense. There's a massive, it's not correlated. There is something they don't understand, and for some reason they just stand up and say, "Yeah, Black Lives Matter." I'm like, but you guys are still treating your Aborigines like crap. So
it's kind of one of those things that's like, oh, when it's convenient. When it's convenient, Black Lives Matter, or we can pander, like all these companies pandering by going, we believe this. No, you don't. You want to sell us shit. That's what you're doing.
Yeah,
that's your job, is to sell us shit. So don't be putting up a post going like...
I didn't know this was...
Nike putting up a post going, oh, we do this. Well, fuck off. You want to sell us shoes, you pricks.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. You want to sell us shoes. This is Emma Watson. I didn't know that she did it. Emma Watson bravely shows her support for Black Lives Matters by going hashtag bald for BLM. And there's all these other people. Wow, there's like so, and the people are getting now tattoos on their head as well.
If you read some of the article, some of it was photoshopped to trick people into thinking that it was real. So they photoshopped some celebrities into thinking it. That's why
you got fooled.
You got to be careful.
Yeah. You got to be careful. But anyway, let's get into this. So let's get into these. We'll get into the more articles soon. I didn't even go through any of the stuff that I want to talk to. It doesn't matter. Oh, but one thing I'm noticing is Michael Jackson is back. Have you seen this? He's not been allowed to come out. Everyone's playing his music now because, that song that All I Want to Say Is That They Don't Really Care About Us. That song's come back
Black
now.
Or White. Didn't he have a song like 30 years ago? It's called Doesn't Matter If You're Black or White.
Oh, yeah. It's called Black or White, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or Black and White together. Yeah, there we go. That's all coming back now. I thought, but what about all the other crap that happened about 2 years ago? We forgot about that?
Yeah.
We keep forgetting about things, don't we? History, we just keep forgetting. We just keep forgetting there was coronavirus last week. We're on the riots. Everyone's like, oh, we'll go back to coronavirus. What's next? What's going to forget everything else?
You haven't heard the updated version, Omar. It's called It Doesn't Matter If You're Black or White or a Pedophile. It's a remix.
Is it? Okay. It can't have been by Michael Jackson. It must be by Eddie Murphy, maybe.
No.
I love Eddie Murphy.
I'm making up lies.
I know you are. You're a liar. Anyway, here we go. This is it. We're going to go into it's copy. Quickly, we're going to get into this very quickly. Bit on the side, we'll be back in a couple of weeks, but we've got something at the moment here which is called 25. As you can see in the video, you guys can't listen, you can't see it, but 25 is a complete meal. It's like a supplement, and it's basically I've got something here to read out, but I'm not going to read it out. I'm just going to say, because I've tasted this, I've tried it, it's actually quite nice. But basically what it is it's a meal in a packet. And it's got all your essential vitamins, minerals, protein, carbohydrates, good fats, vitamins, dietary, fiber, sodium, all that sort of stuff. Good for your cholesterol. And it's basically about 400. If you guys are macros or into your calorie counting, you get about 450. That's your calories, 450. That's what it is. So that's not bad. Like, I think each meal, depending on what you're doing, should be around about that. So that's pretty good. So that's one meal in a whole. You got your plant-based, it's vegan, soy-friendly, gluten-free, all of that. And it's just basically a shake. It's a meal replacement. It's fun. I thought to myself, with this, Noel, when I tried, I was like, I'm going to be starving after this, but I wasn't. I was surprised. And usually, protein for me makes me bloat. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to do, but I bloat a lot. And for some reason, with that protein, I'm not. So it's good. So thank you guys at 25. They're New Zealand own. I want you to try this, Noel. You should get onto this. You should get onto some of this stuff. So I'll give when you're up in
I'm
Auckland,
up next week. You send me
this
one.
weekend. Because I've got them all here and I'm going through them pretty fast. So there we go. So now we've moved away from that. We're out of that. So thank you very much, 25. We've got some other sponsors coming on as well. Now we're going to move on to the middle bit. That sounds like a burp. Oh, here we are, the middle bit. It's actually quite nice in here. Just wanted to quickly start this off because this episode is going to come towards the end of the week, which means it's my birthday on Friday.
Oh.
So
Happy birthday for Friday, Omar.
Thank you very much. I'm going to be the big 3-3.
Oh.
So that's going to be exciting. I can't wait because I'm getting better with age. So for me, getting older is actually getting better. I'm learning more. Of course, my body is starting to fall down a bit. You know, you're getting your knee pains, you're getting your elbow pains. You know, you're starting to see little marks on your face. But you got to keep healthy. You got to keep fit. And one of my things that I'm doing at the moment is, just to put it out there, I'm actually stopping drinking alcohol for life.
For life.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to do
For
life,
life.
Omar, but I'm definitely going to do the next week, and then we've got Dry July coming up. So
That's good.
I like a few drinks every now and again, but it is super important to take a break. Like once you get past that 2-week mark of not having a drink, you start feeling amazing.
I feel it after about a week. And what I'm doing is I'm going to get into recommendation station, which is what we're going to get into a bit later on, guys.
Cool.
I'm going to recommend something to you about this. But we'll get into that. And that's been very helpful, what I've been reading. So we'll get into that and talk about the health benefits later. Let's get into the news. Let's do this. Let's get into the first one over here. And I'm very excited about this. Noel, I don't know if you know about this, but this is a very interesting article. It is titled... Dun, 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 dun,
Let me have a look
dun, dun.
here.
Having sex with somebody you don't live with is illegal from today.
Where?
So this was in the UK.
In the UK?
Yep, new rules mean you could end up with a criminal record for having sex in your own home. It's ridiculous. And these are some new lockout laws. I don't think they must be gone by now.
What?
You cannot be putting that on people.
Lockdown. I thought you meant like it was some sort of religious thing or what? Is that just the lockdown?
No. Well, I think it's a religious thing. This is for lockdown, which is worse than if it was a religious thing. Because a religious thing, you just don't have sex.
Well, technically, you're not supposed to do that anyway. Yeah, if you're any type of religious,
it depends what religion.
Yeah.
I mean, Mormons, they do, don't they? Have sex with their daughters, don't they? I don't know.
I think you're allowed multiple wives if you're a Mormon. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's Egyptians.
Oh.
Yeah, we're allowed up to 10, I think.
Oh, that's
Who's
good.
counting?
And you get,
though?
don't you get like 70 virgins when you die as well? Something like that. That's pretty sweet.
That's amazing. Who? Definitely an Arab thought about that, didn't they?
Yeah,
They
I'll
definitely
just kill
made that up.
myself now.
Totally. Who thought of 70 virgins? And that's way too much for me. That for me is hell. Imagine that. You go to heaven and you're like, now you're clean, you're enlightened. You're ready for everything. You're ready to be. You're there to be pure. You're ready to get out of this body, and now you're stuck with 70 virgins in heaven. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And then you got to go through them all, and it's just going to be a disaster.
That sounds like a nightmare, doesn't it? Like juggling all this, and then which one? Oh, it's date night. Oh, Christ! You have to have like a 3-month schedule.
Yeah, a man came up with that, didn't they? It was definitely. It wasn't a female that came up with that. It's not like it was because this is Muslims.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like the females came up with. I'm not again.
So hold on.
We're going to get in trouble for this. I bet you.
What happens when a female Muslim dies?
Nothing. They just go straight to heaven. Nothing happens. They become one of the virgins.
Oh,
so then they've got
outrageous.
to do. It's just stupid. And how do we know in heaven there's going to be people? How do we know there's going to be females and guys and stuff? It's definitely a man that came up with this.
Oh, 100%.
A man came up and...
100%.
They wrote it down. If you're a good guy, you do everything, you're a good Muslim, what happens here? God, yep, you get 70 virgins. That's one of the things there. Oh, that's nice. It's so stupid.
Pretty good deal.
But anyway, so it is a good deal. Well, it depends how you look at it. Imagine if they were like feminist virgins. That would just be awful.
What if all 77 of them were Karens?
Not a Karen Baskin.
No. Not Carol. Karens. And we'll get into Karens a little later in the show.
This is an interesting article. Something that I found... I don't know who this person is, but she is an Australian author. Her name is Clementine Ford.
What a name.
Yeah. She must have made that up. So
it sounds like a cross between a drink and an automobile.
Well, I mean, Ford is an automobile, but I mean, Clementine, yeah. It's like an old 1940s Western.
Oh, she's got a big mole.
She apologizes. I mean, that's good. Sweet of her to apologize for saying that coronavirus isn't killing men fast enough.
Oh, salty.
Is she still, like, is she cancelled? Is she
Surely.
not allowed to, is she banned from Twitter? Is she, has she lost her little blue tick now? Is that gone? I mean, is she losing her followers? Is she being suppressed?
I imagine she's quite left-leaning, so that for some reason they let everybody who's left-leaning off and everybody who's on the right gets banned, which is kind of the problem that we're having in the world at the moment. Is no one's allowed an honest discussion. No one's allowed to talk about things and get to, oh, you know what, I feel this way. Like, you're not going to change anybody's mind. Like, you're not going to have a conversation with somebody who feels really passionate about their certain politics. You're not going to have a conversation with them and change their mind. So just go, hey, that's how you feel, it's great. But they can't do that. They get mad at other people for feeling different to them, which is a typical
that's
trait.
so strange. It reminds me of the episode of Friends when, I think it's season 2, when Ross is trying to convince Phoebe. I don't know if you've seen it, but he's trying to convince Phoebe that about evolution is a real thing, but Phoebe just is trying to be open-minded and is trying to teach Ross to be open-minded and stop being so arrogant, because he thinks that out of all of this, out of everything, that evolution is it. But he's not open-minded. Then Phoebe's good example of this is she goes, well, back in the day, we thought that cavemen just thought this was it. There was dinosaurs and that's it, Nothing else could happen from there. But then evolution happens, and then they turn into something else, and then everything changes. There's one period where everyone thought that, I mean, I can't remember what the examples were, but mine
the
was
Earth
like,
was flat. Remember
we
they
all
used to
thought
think the
at one
Earth was
point in
flat?
time... Yeah, there we go. The Earth was flat. That's right. There was another thing. They also thought, everyone thought that the atom was a single atom, but then they split the atom, and then it turned into everything else, and then everyone's like, oh, but now there's more atoms.
That's right. You've got to be willing to admit that we learn new things
Totally.
and we come up with new hypotheses and stuff like that. That stuff we learn about space every week, unbelievable.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. So there we go. So that's another thing. So what's happened to her, we don't know. But it's just, why do we bring this to your attention? It's just a thing. Like, men, again, it's white men getting attacked, all sort of men. She's a lesbian, I think. And they just, it's just so offensive and disrespectful. And this is what everyone's got their freedom of speech now-ish to a degree, and they're just saying all this crap. And now they're getting backlash. But then I don't know how much backlash she's going to get compared to if a man said that, Where's the difference there? We don't know.
Yeah, or if you added a black in there, then, my God,
allowed.
she'd get hung from a tree, wouldn't she?
Oh, don't.
That's not a good reference. Yeah, that's not what I meant. She would get cancelled. She would get it, which is worse, getting her blue check mark removed.
Yes,
this is why you shouldn't have Twitter,
be.
people. Twitter is like the most evil, divisive thing on the planet. What is the point at arguing with people that you don't know? Stupid.
Yeah, Twitter is definitely a cesspool of just hate and anger.
You're never going to please everybody. You're never going to please everybody.
No. And that's what you learn at the very beginning of acting school, is you cannot please every single audience. And when you do comedy and all that as well, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's subjective. So if you tell a joke, and out of 100 people, 99 people laugh, and then one person is offended, that one person can then go on Twitter and say, this comedian's a piece of shit because they said this or they said that. And why are we listening to the 1%? No.
Totally, and we want that. Everyone needs to be negative. Everyone needs to be angry. And it just reminds me of the latest news with Chris D'Elia, the comedian been cancelled now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now this is... this Me Too, this is a Me Too movement, and it's just ruined this guy's career. He was on, he's done so many Netflix stuff. He's friends with Joe Rogan, all of those guys, and he's a very good comedian. Does a podcast as well. Congratulations! And now there's a whole lot of shit that's come out of nowhere.
Yeah, and you'd think that this. At this point in time, like the last thing that would happen, because all the Me Too stuff and all that crazy stuff was kind of just put on hold because nobody gave a shit because of coronavirus.
Yeah, but now it's coming out.
Now Black Lives Matter, and now everyone's like, oh, you know what? We need a new news cycle. Everybody's sick of this stuff.
Yeah.
And again, people sitting around, and I mean, I looked through some of it. Some of these women, I can't tell if these people were underage or not. That's what's difficult about the whole Chris D'Elia situation. Is like, yeah, sure, he's probably been a bit of a horny bastard, probably taking advantage of his celebrity status, but I mean, if
Yep,
he hasn't
yep,
done
which he
anything
does, yep.
illegal, he hasn't done anything illegal. It's kind of the way it kind of works.
It's weird, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
he hasn't done anything. He's just talked to people about it. You know, and we don't, as you said, we don't know they're underage. We've got no idea. So this is the thing. So it's just like he's talking to girls, flirting, and what's coming from it, he doesn't know. And yeah, nowadays it's quite hard to know how old a girl is on the internet.
You could easily lie, yeah.
You know? Yeah, you could easily lie. We don't know with profile photos. We don't know with Tinder nowadays. People can change their ages and stuff. You've got no idea.
Did you?
You know, I think I could be convicted for this when I was on Tinder and stuff. And you know, it's just ridiculous. And then this is the thing. And then he's got to apologize for that. But what's happened now? What's happened now is his career is over. He's going to try to come back from this, but he's going to have to wait for the backlash.
He might be able to Louis C.K. his way out of it, you know, a couple of years.
Yeah, but Louis C.K., he's still cancelled. He came out with a Netflix thing.
he was still doing shows.
Oh,
he sold out shows before. He had sold out shows before the Rona.
Yeah, totally. And I watched his special that he put out at the beginning of the year, and that was full. But at the same time, there's an argument, and there's also an army against him as well. So all I'm saying is, Chris D'Elia he's going to lose some followers, he's going to lose his reputation. But the other thing that I'm seeing is a lot of people that have had him on their podcast, or some of his close friends. I've actually seen them getting angry with Chris D'Elia. They're also saying, "Oh, why did he do this?" And then, but there's also other people.
They don't know all the facts
him
yet.
on another person's podcast, and they're backstabbing him. Yeah. They're saying, "Oh, he's such a dirty dog. We know that he's like this. It was about time it was going to come out." And I was like, "Dude, he was on your podcast like a week ago."
Okay,
and now you're backstabbing this guy. It's like, where's the support from your peers?
Here's an example, right? Let's pretend that all of these people that he was contacting were of age and weren't underage, okay? Let's pretend that for a second, okay? Sure, he's been a bit of a dirty dog. If Snoop Dogg can rap in his videos and talk about fucking heaps of bitches and all this type of shit, and then I'm sure, 50 Cent, they all have like groupies and players, like those guys are on the hoon. Of course they are. They're massive celebrities. So
totally.
Why is it different for him to do it?
Yep. It does. Again, he's just getting picked. It's you. This is bad, and the media's just gone away with it. He's denied a lot of stuff. Chris D'Elia, he's gone, no, not doing that. Wasn't me. But yeah, it was him. But I mean, I think he's denying the fact that they're all underage and he was doing things with them. No, he wasn't. But yeah, he was just talking to them. But I understand where you're coming from as well. Yeah. I mean, this is why now. And it's like when these people are on right at the beginning of their career where it's launching off or they're doing very well, getting quite successful, all of a sudden you have all these people that just come out of nowhere and start to bring you back down. And then we listen to that 1% or 2%, and that becomes 90% that he's a bad person. So
it's because this is how the news works now. The news makes stories out of Twitter. So it happens on Twitter first, and then it becomes the news. It's not the other way around. And so the basically news people go, "Oh, this is trending on Twitter. This is a story." When rather than them going, "Hey, you know what? We should be investigative journalists and go out and find all this stuff first." It's not the way it works now. And again, it's that same cancel culture of you don't get like what's it called, due process, where you're innocent until proven guilty. In cancel culture, you're fucked until we tell you you're not.
Yeah, that's right. And that's how it goes. It's so vicious, and just that attack is just crazy. It says here, I
don't know if people know this, but guys are horny bastards.
Well, so are girls, mate. Like, this is the thing,
and they want to stick their knob in it. That's just how.
Yeah, but nowadays, so do girls, mate. Like how many? It's very hard to say it's guy. Of course, it is guys, and we've got that testosterone thing, and we like to have a good time, and that's how it was. And of course, we're becoming a bit more like, I don't go around. I know when you go out at night and stuff, and you go to these parties, and if you go to the bars and stuff, not in New Zealand anymore, but you can. It used to be a big thing, but now not anymore. But now it's the other way around. Like there's so many times I've had like girls. Well, I would say attack me, like viciously
express their interest.
Grab. Exactly, and they're very vicious about it. And if you don't do it properly, or like I've had, I'm not going to go into it. I will actually. There was this one girl in Sydney where I just met her out. And she goes, "Let's go back to your place." And I said, "Oh, I was going to go see a mate." She goes, "No, we're going to go now." So I had to take her back to mine. And I'm just there trying to tell my story, talk about my acting stuff. And
she doesn't want to know.
I'm just there. I don't want to do. And she was just like, no, let's go into your room. And I was like, no, I want to have this drink. I want to have a whiskey. She goes, "No, let's go in there." And I was like, "Oh, crap." And I felt like I was getting raped
You got used
by this girl.
You got used, because here's the double standard. Because you hear all those stories.
You've been used before,
like that South Park episode where you remember the cops and they're like, that teacher's having sex with that underage kid. Remember Kenny was having sex with one of the teachers, and you always hear a news a story on the news, and some like hot teacher has been banging some student, and completely illegal and stuff. Everyone's like, damn, she's hot. What a fucking legend. You know, that's the double standard. You know, like the cops on South Park were like, nice.
Yeah. It's all good work, Kenny. Yeah. But now, no way. You can't do it. You can't get away with anything. You can't do anything. You can't message anyone. And if someone does slip into your DMs and she is attractive or he's attractive, just don't say anything. Don't fall for it. Don't, because they want something.
You should ask is, how old are you?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
You start the conversation with that, you've now, you're safe.
Yeah, but are you though? Because that could be now alluding to the fact that you could be trying to find someone that is a younger age, like if someone comes in, hi, how are you? I find you really funny. And then your first thing is, how old are you? They could go, oh, they only want me because I'm young, like I'm just trying to say that.
That
could also come up as a pickup line.
Casual. Okay.
But then also that person could be offended by that as well.
You can't
win.
Like,
oh, what, you can't win anyway. Just don't talk to anyone.
You're not supposed to ask a woman their age, yeah?
No, you're not allowed to do that. That's rude. You can't be doing that. No, don't be doing that. Don't ask my age. How old do you think I look? Don't answer that.
Oh my God, what are you trying to say?
Yeah, exactly. And then also here's a little. This is good. This is someone that is with a grounded opinion about it. A guy's tweet about Chris D'Elia. All I have seen for proof is some screenshots of conversations of someone appearing to be Chris. Could somebody possibly, I don't know, change their names in the phone? This isn't proof.
Easy.
Are these DMS? Are there DMS that can be
DMs.
definitely linked to Chris? Yep, DMs. Where is the actual proof? And then also it could be, that's what I thought as well. I was like, how do we know this is Chris D'Elia? Someone could have just screenshotted something, copy-pasted. We don't know.
You've seen those deep fakes, yeah? How easy would it be able to change a little message, like a screenshot of a message?
Totally.
Photoshop, you could do it in about 4 minutes.
Totally. And then also go to Chris D'Elia and threaten him as well, not through Instagram where he could screenshot things. You've got these new decentralized messaging apps where you can send something to someone and then it's an email, but then it destructs in 15 minutes. So you can't even screenshot it. You try to screenshot it, but what it does is it's got this thing on the email. If it depends on what you open it up, but if you try to flash it, it all goes white. Yeah. So it's pretty cool, man. And so then you look at the screenshot and it's just completely white. So there's
I don't know why you would need that shit though. Like it's fucking James Bond.
Well, it's all these hackers and stuff, It's all this hacking stuff. Like, how many times have you got an email, Noel, from a random person that said, I have caught you masturbating. I am going to send this to all your friends.
Specifically, but I've seen those ones where they're like, you've been caught on camera doing something.
Exactly.
But they're fake.
That's right.
Because
of course, I know. Well, tell. I don't know that. The first one, the first one you ever you get worried to shit. You're like, what? How? Were you standing outside my window? Have you hacked into my computer? How have you done this? The first one for me, I was very scared, and
because then you click on the link, and then that's how they hack you.
Well, I didn't go in. No, there was no link. The only link was you got to pay in Bitcoin to this address. So I've got Bitcoin. I went to my Bitcoin. I went, wait a minute, let me check this out. So I went back and had a look, and I looked at their address, because you can have a look at the address, and I looked at it. The poor motherfucking bastard, there's been people that paid to that address. So for me, I thought to myself, if there's already money in that address of the Bitcoin wallet that they've sent to me of that address, I was like, well, I can't be the only person then. So then that's when I was like, okay. But you could see there was honestly about $4,000 worth of money in there already. So I was like, shit. Some guilty conscience out there, they've paid the bastard.
Yeah.
We have to start moving along because this is a tight-ass motherfucking episode, and we're getting to the end of it.
I think we've just talked about a whole lot of shit. Really, it's all negative and stuff like that. So
negative.
Let's try and get into some more of the gigs that are happening in the world at the moment. And you've got a brilliant little story here, Omar. Alcoholic monkey leaves one man dead and 250 injured after going on a rampage when his booze supply dried up. Oh my God, I love stories like this.
Yeah. See, this is one of the reasons when I found this article, This is one of the main reasons why I wanted to stop alcohol. This story right here. Alcohol killer monkey leaves 1 man dead and 250 injured after going on rampage when his booze supply dried up. See, it's all there. He's an alcoholic monkey and he doesn't know any better. He hasn't got the left side of the brain sending him the signals of being responsible. So he's just gone out and he's killing people because he ran out of... This just proves to you that alcohol is very addictive. It makes you do very strange things and it really affects you mentally. And that's what happened to this monkey. Poor guy. What do they call him? They called him something.
Has he got a name?
Of course he was a white monkey. I think so.
Oh dear. Yeah. He was
I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to say it's a white monkey.
He was an Antifa monkey. That's what he was. I seen him stealing laptops and Nikes from Foot Locker.
And look at this. 250 biting victims. So he went on a biting rampage. It's just like Jeremy Renner's kid. Well, that's interesting. So well done, mate.
What a
We
savage.
don't want to talk about Jeremy Renner.
Oh no, I just want to talk about this monkey a little bit. How did he become an alcoholic? And has he got a backstory? Did his wife leave him? Did he lose his job? What's going on?
It also says here, it was also noted that the monkey had a thing for attacking female zookeepers. So why only female? It doesn't say anything about men.
He's a sexist, racist monkey.
Of course, yep. So he had to be... I don't know if they killed him or not.
Oh, they surely would have.
Or did they send him to AA?
I'm trying to find what is his fate. But no, they sent him...
Among the charges, he also would also attack other monkeys that were in the same cage. So he was just an aggressive monkey.
He was just a dick monkey. He was just like that police officer that killed George Floyd. He's the monkey version of that.
Yeah, you piece of crap. And that was funny. Well, not funny, but he knew George... You know those two guys knew each other, right?
Yeah,
the
that's
guy
weird.
That actually, the cop
yeah.
It's so weird.
Oi, do you know what else is weird?
Let's get off that.
The guy who did George Floyd's autopsy did Jeffrey Epstein's autopsy.
It's all linked, isn't it?
Oh, fucking linked, my man. All right, that's enough of alcoholic monkey killers. Dude, what a great story. Yep. I love it. Okay, so moving on to more, for some reason, animal news. This is a good one. One of my favorites. Man with dead fish found up his backside says he accidentally sat on it.
So he sat on a fish or something?
He's obviously been into some sick, weird fetish. He's from some place in China. He's probably got a bit bored and locked down. And gone, I tell you what, I wonder what will happen if I shove this fish up my ass. Wonder if it'll feel good. The fish got stuck up his ass. It's obviously died. But he denied it and said, like, he accidentally said it. Like, what are you, naked? And you're just walking around naked, and there's just some fish lying around that you've left on a seat. I go, I know what I'll do with this raw fish. I'll put it on my seat over here for safekeeping. Forgot about it. Gone to put his shoes on. Sat down, and the fish has gone off his ass.
That's so stupid. That's sort of like the same excuse of my dog ate my homework.
This is disgusting, though. He told the health workers he had intense abdominal pain, which lasted over an hour. When the nurse questioned how the fish ended up in his body, he told them he accidentally sat on it, causing it to go inside his anus. The nurse reportedly replied, "Do you think I'm an idiot?"
No, I think they just have to accept it, don't they? They just have to go along with it. Sure,
man,
okay.
Imagine all the weird shit. You know, like they've always got kids with crowns up their nose or whatever it is. Imagine all the weird shit they just have to take out of people's assholes.
Oh, totally. Or like weird body stuff, like, boils on your dick type things. That would just be fucking weird, wouldn't it?
Oh, man, I feel sorry for the nursing and doctor community in China. They're having a hard run of it at the moment, I'll tell you that much. Coronavirus and removing fish from people's assholes.
What a waste of time.
Yeah, but this segues nicely into my next story, Omar, which is Uranus is leaking.
Mine is?
Not necessarily your one. Maybe the man who stuck the fish up his ass. But no, Uranus, the planet, is literally leaking gas into space. Oh, the planet,
of course.
Yes, which I thought was quite funny because it's called Uranus and it's leaking gas into space.
That is quite funny. Nice. Well done.
There you go.
It's a bit childish humor. But, okay, so it's just... And that's it. Basically, it's just leaking gas into space.
It's kind of recent news that they discovered. So they're like, we learn things about the planets all the time, but the fact that Uranus is actually leaking gas made me chuckle.
It is quite funny.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's doing anything. Is it killing anything? Is it?
Wonder what it smells like.
Maybe there'll be like a big. In about 200 million years, there might be like a circle around it. Like Saturn, because it's all gas.
Yeah, that's a good point, Omar. That's a good point. But
So
I wonder what
I'm
it smells
thinking
like as well.
educated.
Do you reckon it smells good or bad or?
No, it will definitely have like a sulfur. It would smell like you are in Rotorua.
I'd say that's probably
gonna be
pretty
sulfury.
close. Yeah, can you smell in space? This is a great question.
We need to get an expert on here. We do have an interview with Elon Musk at some point.
I'm just going to type this in real quick. What does
Go on.
space smell like?
Can you pee in space?
Can you pee?
I'm
No,
gonna Google
because
that.
you'll free. Like you'll freeze to death. Oh, they remove their
No, but
helmets.
yeah.
So when astronauts are returning from a spacewalk, they remove their helmets. They are welcomed back with a particular smell, an odor that is distinct and weird. Something astronauts describe it like seared steak, and also hot metal. I could understand that, and also welding fumes. Wow, that's interesting.
Okay.
Gunpowder.
That is quite interesting.
Yeah, so sulfury.
Interesting.
Yeah, you were right, Omar. Yeah.
I knew it.
Well, you know what an anus smells like.
Okay, well, we now have to move out of all these topics we're going to get into quickly. Let's go into recommendation station. We didn't even touch on the fact of I take responsibility, which is a shame. But we will maybe another episode. So let's go.
I think people have probably had enough of that. It's been heavily saturated. They know what it's all about.
Yeah, it is.
They know it's celebrity pandering. Moving on.
Yeah, it is. And actors, be quiet. Stop it. Well, stop saying. I'm just going to quickly.
Yeah, this will
go
work
over it.
well
Just
into the
be
hypothetical
quiet.
question around the actors pandering, Omar. So we'll touch on it briefly. We'll touch on it briefly.
Okay, and this takes us into this very good segue into recommendation station. Noel, yours, please.
People have been loving the recommendation station. They've been like, hey, thanks for that. I was unaware of that.
That's good.
Maybe you're probably aware of this one, but this is my recommendation station for the week. Blade Runner, the director's cut is on Netflix, and I watched it the other day. It's about 2 hours long, and it's bloody awesome. Like, I love the Blade Runner. Like, 'cause it's a classic. Harrison Ford. It's about a Blade Runner who must pursue and terminate 4 replicants who stole a ship in space and then return to Earth, because replicants aren't allowed. This is kind of like robot racism, if you will. It kind of translates in today's thing. The replicants were created, and then everybody hated them, so they're not allowed on Earth. And they kind of look like humans and behave like humans, but they've got some very subtle differences. So it's up to Harrison Ford to hunt down the
distances,
hunt down the replicants and take them out. And it's a beautiful movie. Like the way it looks and the cinematography and the post-apocalyptic world that is in just looks fantastic. If you go check it out, and it's a great window into what America is going to look like in like 2 months. So
interesting. Okay, that's going to be great. Thank you for that. That's great. I have seen it. I saw it quite recently, and because I wanted to watch the new one, but then I got really bored with the old one and didn't finish it.
Yeah, well, this is the old one is better. The old one is better. Well, the new one's not too bad, but the old one's better.
Okay. My recommendation station, of course, I've got these meal replacement things over here. Then let's go on about talking about health and wealth. Every morning, apple cider vinegar. A nice little 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar in your drink, in your morning hot water. Put a bit of that in and a bit of salt. I think for me, I've just been loving that. This is funny because a lot of people say that your body, when you wake up, you're already acidic enough, but by doing this, for some reason, it actually counteracts the acidity in your stomach, and it also helps with your metabolism. Sorry. And so it's really good. And for me, I put a dash of Himalayan salt in there as well, with a little bit of that, and it's actually been quite nice. It burns a little bit of fat as well, but it also just gets your body moving in the morning. So that is something.
Does it give you like a little
I recommend
prep of energy, or?
Well, it doesn't really do too much. It basically just lines your gut, and it just makes it. For me, it just gets it ready. Basically, I think.
Oh, I'll have to give it a
and
try.
It just helps with it. Yeah, give it a try. It's very nice. Just 2 tablespoons in there with a little bit of salt, because also when you're sleeping, you get dehydrated. So the salt actually sort of helps to get some of the thing. It just gets everything moving in the morning. So it is nice. Some people can take tablets if you want to, but I just prefer to buy the thing and drink it.
Yeah.
It tastes like shit. Also, watch out, it might rot your teeth.
Okay.
It might rot your teeth.
So you just got to go past the teeth, straight down the throat.
But then, or you just have a drink of water straight after it. It's fine. And then I've also got the other thing is How to Stop Drinking Booze by Alan Carr. So this is the Alan Carr. He also did How to Stop Smoking Cigarettes. And everyone that reads that book, they stop they stop smoking if they want to. For me, I didn't really know. I just wanted to I just started researching, getting into it. So I had a read of this book, and it allows you to drink while you're reading this book, but it also just helps you get through it. And it's quite interesting. Over the period of reading it, I was like, I'm not going to, I said I'm going to cut down. But getting through this book is just getting me mentally ready to actually just stop completely. So that's the thing that I'm reading at the moment, and it's a really good book. You can also get the audiobook on YouTube as well. It's about 8 hours. Just listen to it on and off. It's really good. Also, if you are not a drinker but just want to understand the habits of where the drinking comes from, and why people drink.
I think some people might have created a lot of bad drinking habits over this lockdown isolation situation. It's pretty easy. When and imagine it is still for other countries now. You get sitting around, you're not allowed to do too much. It's like, might as well have some beers.
But a lot of people found it was the opposite. I didn't drink anything in lockdown. I mean, I had 1 week that I did, but not a lot. And then I actually didn't drink for a while. And then as soon as I got out of lockdown, you're with your friends again, you're out and about, you're excited, you're stressed, you've got work, you just feel like a drink in the evening. So I actually feel like drinking more. And I felt like this massive thing a couple of weeks ago where I just felt like, oh my God, I need to have a drink. And it would just be with me the whole day. And I didn't have that in lockdown. It was very different. So I found it when I got out of it, I wanted to drink more, go see friends, try some whiskeys, go to the pubs. And then also stressful weeks, you want to drink, So even after filming, I filmed a couple of hours a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, because that's an important thing, I think. When you finish a big job, and you're like, I finished this job. I'm going to reward myself with a couple of sippy sips. And I just these days for me, I just hate wasting the next day.
That's it.
There's just so much more you can get on with.
Totally. Okay, and then let's move on to hypothetical question.
Hypothetical question of the week. I don't know. Do you remember what last week's one was?
Totally. I've got notes here. Yep.
Okay,
let's recap it for everybody else.
We'll recap it for everybody else. So actor turned musician, music video.
Musician,
So basically, there's a lot of actors out there that were pretty successful actors. And for some reason, they decide to become musicians as well. Sometimes they're pretty good. Sometimes they're not so good. So Omar's agents called him because she's got these 3 celebrities that have now turned to music, and they need an actor for their music videos. So the first one was Steven Seagal. We'll play a bit of his music here. So very sort of, very good, very good. Terrence Howard. Remember Terrence Howard from, I think last week I said Entourage, and what I meant to say was Empire. Terrence Howard was from Empire. And
yes, okay.
Right, and remember we saw him we was dressed as a space wizard, and he was talking about triangles and shit. That was a great clip. Okay, so here's a bit of his music here.
Oh, beautiful.
Very good. And then, of course, our final actor turned musician who needs a person for his music video is Jeremy Renner. And here's a bit of Jeremy Renner's music right now. Under this go. Easy. All right, so Omar, which of these 3 amazing music videos would you like to star in?
Well, I think for me it is about not only the music video, it's about how successful and where this is going to take my career to the next stage. But it's also going to get me working with someone that I want to work with. You do jobs. Why? Because you want to work with that director or the other actors. Steven Seagal will be fantastic. I'd love to work with him.
Maybe 20 years ago.
I'd love to work with him as well. Well, I mean, but he's got so much wisdom to talk about. Just share a nice little cigar after it, talk about it. Maybe I'm playing the younger version of him in the music video. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be good to get to know him. Yeah, it's about me back in the day when I was doing all the karate videos, and it's me being, getting all the girls, but then I've also got to learn from the legends, so that'd be great. But then Terrence Howard, again, he's a really amazing actor, a bit crazy sometimes, but it would be good to be with him, get to know him. Also, being, I don't know what I'll be in the video, don't know. But then you've also got Jeremy Renner,
living legend.
Is he though? I'm not too sure. I don't think he's going to take my career anywhere. So, you know what? I would love to do Jeremy Renner. Why? So I could basically beat him up, I think. because he'll be on set. And I'd also do a really bad job of the video. Like if he
You're
was telling me,
trolling.
"Oh, I want you to be more sad," I would actually just ruin it. Yeah, so it'd be fun. It'd be me ruining Jeremy Renner's career and his music video. I'd love to do that. That's the fun for me. Even though I wanted to work with Steven Seagal, but not this time. So that's my answer. Jeremy Renner. Why? Because I want to ruin it. Next.
Excellent. Well, there we go. That's the answer to last week's hypothetical question. And now we've got a new one,
Last
which
month.
you've got a week to think about and come back with
Can't wait.
with the answer. So we
let's go.
talked earlier about these celebrity pandering videos. We didn't actually play it,
Okay.
but the I Take Responsibility video.
Yep.
Should we play a little bit of it now so people get a taste of it?
Go on, play a little bit of it at the very beginning of it.
seconds.
I take
we go.
responsibility.
I take
cringe.
responsibility.
Just
I
dear.
take
I don't know why Aaron Paul.
I take
Why is his
responsibility.
actors? I thought
why
they're
is-
actors.
For
What's with his
every
hands?
unchecked
Why is he
moment.
praying?
For every time it was
Okay,
easier
anyway.
to ignore than
We all know that tacky tripe, okay? And that's the
Yeah.
problem these days is actors, sometimes they just don't know when to shut the fuck up because it's got absolutely
Yeah.
like they think that the general public look up to them that they've got the answers, to all of life's
Well, we
problems.
need influencers at this time, and we need an influencer at this point in time, and these actors think they should stand up and do this. It's like my agent told me to post that Black Life Matters black photo thing. They told me to do it. But I was
Well,
like, no.
your agent's got back to you, and she has 3 new campaigns for you to jump on and virtue signal on. You ready for this?
Okay, can't
Okay,
wait. Yep.
so celebrity pandering campaign number 1, Chimp Lives Matter. So,
okay.
basically what's been going on, I don't know if you know about this, Omar, but sometimes people test shampoos and all types of terrible shit. Makeup,
On
all that type of stuff on poor chimps.
on animals.
And I don't quite understand this, to be honest. Like, how many times you've got to squirt some shampoo in a chimp's eyes for it to go, yep, still hurts it. Still makes his eyes bleed. Okay, cool. All right, so we've got Chimp Lives Matter. I never know. You might feel passionate about one of these subjects that I've got.
Animal rights and stuff. Sure,
Well, I'm
sure.
trying to think of things that are important to people's lives and things that are endangered.
Totally,
you know?
animals.
Okay, number 2.
Cats, dogs.
Oh, well, number 2, you'll like
You know
this.
too much about chimps. Okay.
The North Atlantic halibut lives matter.
Oh.
So I don't know if you know this,
Yep.
but the Atlantic halibut is the largest flatfish species in the North Atlantic. And man, unfortunately, it's
Okay.
they can it's a length of 9 feet. They can weigh 1,000 pounds, but because of slow growing fish,
interesting.
it doesn't become sexually mature till it's 10 to 14 years old. So unfortunately, they
Interesting, okay.
get snatched up by all the deadly catch cast. And we don't want them to go extinct. So North
Okay,
Atlantic
next.
halibut lives matter.
Okay.
Number 3,
Mouthful. Yep.
Karen lives matter. That's right. Poor white middle-aged women. They've all been labelled as Karens. All they want to do is go and complain to the manager about some person that's of a different skin colour, or they don't know them, or they're entitled. And I feel sorry for these Karens. So we're going to launch a campaign that makes sure that all Karen lives matter. So you've got these. So sticking up for Karens because it's now racist. Did you know this? That the K word is now the new N word.
Okay, well there we go. So we'll recap that next time we do the podcast, probably the end of the week next week. And there we go. That was the show. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming back. That was great, Noel. I like the hypothetical question. Love what we
Thanks,
talked
mate.
about today.
It's always very topical, isn't it?
It is. It definitely is. So that's good. And it is. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming back. That was a great episode. It's my birthday this week, so wish me happy birthday, because I need it. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming back. Subscribe, like, get on all that stuff. Get on the Facebook, like those pages. Go on the YouTube, watch some of the old videos. Get on the TikTok, and do what you need to do. More interactions make us want to do this even more. So thank you very much, everybody out there for doing that.
Thank you
Noel.
to everybody who's recently subscribed, and it's just been blowing up
Totally.
the last week or so. So welcome new people
from TikTok to
tell your friends.
Yeah, thank you guys. And thank you very much, Noel. I'll see you very soon.
Thanks,
I'll see
Omar.
you guys very soon as well. And we're out. Thank you.
The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reference on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. This podcast should not be considered professional advice whatsoever. The third-party materials or content of any third-party site referenced in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the opinions, standards, or policies of the owner.